Hi everybody, it's Julia here again from Made by the Chef, and today I'm going to be making you a bean stew. Yes, we're cooking baked beans, but here's how you can do it yourself. Now this is a really classic Cypriot dish that I used to eat growing up, that my mum always used to make. You know why? Because it's cheap, it's a staple, and it's so easy to do. So what I wanted to show you first, I've got beans here. Now these are known as white kidney beans, canellini beans, haricot beans. They look like red kidney beans, but they're white, same shape, same kind of fatness. Get them in packs. Now use the dried stuff, okay? I have used tinned in the past. You know, if I'm in a rush and I've forgotten to soak overnight, that's fine. You know, you can make the sauce and stuff that I'm going to show you, and then obviously you can add your tinned beans more near the end. But if you've got the time, and I hope you all have at the moment, stay at home, then you can use dried. Now you buy the dried, it's cheaper as well. Dried packets of beans in the larder, one of the best staples that you can invest in. And you're going out and you're doing shopping, don't overbuy, there's plenty in the shops, but get yourself some dried beans, keep them in your larder. Fantastic, you can make yourself a dish whenever. Okay, so I've left mine to soak overnight. They soak for about 12 to 14 hours. Okay, and that's what they look like. So what happens is they start down here and then they expand, and then they're quite fat. And what I'm going to do with those is I'm going to drain them off, and then I'm going to boil them for probably about 10-15 minutes max. Bring them up to the boil and then drain them off, and then they're ready to use. Here I am, I've boiled the water, I've boiled the beans for about 10-15 minutes, and there they all are now. They look fantastic. So now they've started to become, I won't say transparent, but they've changed colour slightly. So a little bit more yellowy rather than the white bean that was dry in the pack. Okay, now, what other ingredients are going to go in this bean stew? So we call this Kuru Fasulye. That's the name of this wonderful bean stew. And of course, onions are an absolute essential. So I've chopped some onions up. I've also got some wonderful celery. So I've done about 3 sticks of celery. That's going to go in there as well. And you need that celery flavour. This dish works beautifully. That's the point of the dish. It's beans, it's celery, and if you want it, it's meat as well. Now I'm using meat, but you could make it vegan. Just leave the meat out, and in fact, if you wanted, just saute a bit of tofu and add that at the end. That would work just as well, full of protein. I want to use meat, and I've got some wonderful sort of just cheap lamb chops. So not the best end, just kind of front end lamb chops that the butcher's prepared for me. I've probably got about 1 kilo here, and I'm using about 500 grams of beans, so I reckon that's probably going to be more than enough. Now the other ingredient is going to go in, tomato paste. Definitely needs tomato paste, 100%. And in fact, you don't even have to use chopped tomatoes. You just need tomato paste. That's perfect. And that's it. That's all your ingredients. So now we're going to cook it. Right, here I am, I'm at my lovely oven, and now I've started cooking the onions. So I've got a good glab of olive oil in there, and you can hear the onions sizzling away, and I've got them all in the pan. There they are, and I'm going to let them cook on a kind of mixture, sort of low to medium heat is what you want, and you're going to let them sort of sweat down a bit. So you don't want them to brown, you don't want them to burn, you just want them to just become translucent. So that's what we call sweating down. Right, the onions have been cooking. They're getting nice and translucent now. So actually what I'm going to do, I'm going to add my meat. Now if you weren't using meat, then what you want to do is add your celery at this point, okay? And let the celery cook down in the onions just for about 2 to 3 minutes. I'm adding the meat, and what I want to do is I want to start to brown it. So I want the meat to start cooking on the outside. So my meat started browning on the outside, started colouring, cooking a little bit. And at this stage, I'm then going to add my tomato paste. So, in order to make sure the meat cooks, turn the heat up a little bit, obviously if it's really low, just so that you ensure the meat really starts to sear off. And then we add the tomato paste. So I've probably put in 2 tablespoons, I reckon. Be quite generous. And then you're going to mix that all around. Just to coat soak the meat. In fact, I reckon it will take another tablespoon, so I'm going to go with that. Go for another spoon of that. Yeah, lovely. Fantastic. Get that in there. Tomato paste is another really good one to have in your cupboard. Really good staple. And you know, don't mess about. Don't buy the paste. What are they? Tubes. Tubes. That was it. I was trying to get the word out. Don't buy one of those tubes. They're great, but you know, you want to put tomato paste in loads of dishes. There's loads of dishes that you can make it with, and obviously this is a stew, and you know, tomato paste is an essential. So get it in the jar, you know, so you've got it, and keep it in the fridge, and then you can use it whenever you want. We eat a lot of stews in Cyprus and in Turkey. We call them Fasulye, which basically means watery food, and that's really essentially what a stew is. So everything's coated. I'm going to show you. There you go. It's all coated now beautifully. And at this point, I'm now going to add my celery. I'm going to stir that in quickly as well. Now I've turned the heat back down. I had the heat up a little higher. I've actually turned it down a little bit just so that I can do this little bit here. Stir it all up. And then I'm actually going to put in my beans. Okay, so I'm going to put the beans in there, because all of this is going to slow cook. So it's going to cook for about an hour. So just be careful when you toss the beans around in the tomatoey meaty mixture. Okay, just toss the beans about, get them all coated, and then what we're going to do is, of course, we've got to add a bit of water. So make sure the water kind of covers the meat and beans. And I've added water that's boiled from the kettle. Now I'm going to give it one more stir. And all that's left is to then season it. Now this dish loves black pepper, okay, and you're going to add some more at the end when you're actually going to eat it. So don't overdo it, but it does fare well from a bit of black pepper. So I'm just going to put ground black pepper in there. So I've got that here. So I'm going to go for that. I'm probably going to go in for about a generous teaspoon to start with. I'm also going to put my salt in there, and then I've got some nice sea salt here. So I'm going to go with that as well. And again, I'm going to go for like a generous teaspoon just for now. Now, if you want, you can also add a little teaspoon of sugar. Now, some people do that, and I'll explain why. Because the sugar helps to keep the beans intact. So that little mixture of sugar and calcium and acidity of the tomato paste will keep the beans in one shape, so they don't break up as much. Now, I've got brown sugar. Molasses is really good for this because molasses has actually got calcium in it. But I didn't have any left in the cupboard, so I'm using dark brown sugar, and I'm actually going to put a teaspoon of that in there as well. So now we are going to leave it. We're going to let that simmer now. I'm going to leave that for about an hour. Right, I've checked it. It's been about an hour, and actually I think it needs just a little bit more, maybe about another 30 minutes, because the beans are very slightly firm still, and I want them to break down a bit more, soften up a little bit more. So what I'm going to do, I'm going to add about a teaspoon of cinnamon as well, because I do love a bit of cinnamon, and I do think it adds a nice bit of flavour to the dish. I'm going to give that a little stir. Now, there's no need to season it any more than you need to, okay? The sauce has started thickening up, and you're going to leave it to the end, and then we'll add some more salt and pepper if it needs it. But for now, I'm going to let that simmer a little bit longer. I'll put the lid back on. I'm going to let it simmer for about 30 minutes. Right, the stew is cooked, so it's been a good hour and a half. You wanted that time for the meat to go nice and tender, for the beans to cook out so that they've softened up a little bit but not mushy. And there we go, it is looking gorgeous. Now, like I said, you want to season it, you want to wait, and then near the end you want to season it a little bit more. And this dish does benefit from black pepper, okay? So I'm going to go in and add a little bit more black pepper. So I'm going in for about another teaspoon, and I'm actually going to put a little bit more salt as well, so I want a bit more flavour in there. Give it a little stir, and then this dish is going to get dished up. So here we are outside in the sunshine. What an amazing day. Best dish ever. Kuru Fasulye, Cypriot bean stew. Beautiful. Bit of lemon juice. Squeeze that over the top. Parsley. Finish it off. Nice bit of crusty bread to go with it. Dip it in. Fantastic. Enjoy your day. Have a wicked day. Stay at home. And I'll see you again tomorrow.